beginning 2000, there was a push to make sure that we trained our Peace Corps staff to train volunteers in how to do gender. And what does that look like? It looks different in every region, in every country, in every project. So we had to step back, do broad strokes with how to train volunteers in how to apply or adapt a gender lens, but at the same time, teach them how to do a gender analysis every time, because gender looks different. Volunteers now come, many of them come already prepared. Maybe they've done women's studies or gender studies, and they have a sense of what that means already. So what we wanted to do is challenge them further by preparing them to take a course called Gender Roles in the Peace Corps Volunteer. And what that means is you finished your training, you're in your site, you're by yourself, you're doing your job. But maybe you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. Well, maybe you step back and think about how people are looking at you as a gendered female or a gendered male who is American. And so where can you meet in the middle? What is preventing you from doing your job, and what's preventing them from talking to you? So we keep digging deeper. And then if you're an education volunteer, one issue that comes up is gender-based violence in the classroom, and that has many forms. You know, it can be teachers sleeping with students. It can be, we call it violence too, like just caning students, and the volunteer doesn't feel comfortable watching that. So how can we help them do their job without making their work partners lose face? You know, like you stop them or you yell at them. No, how can we do this in a culturally appropriate way, meaning addressing gender-based violence in the classroom? So basically we focus on them being a good teacher, and a student-centered teacher would not cane his or her students. A student-centered teacher would not sleep with his or her students, so we promote that idea. And so an education volunteer could receive maybe 10 hours of gender training. Well, you have to get everybody on the same page, so it might seem maybe like basic gender training, like understand the difference between gender and sex, which is understanding that gender is a social construction, and what is that social construction? And if it is a social construction, it can change because it's dynamic. And so who wants to write that narrative? Who wants to create that definition? And you empower people in the community, like this is the way you create that definition of what gender means. What are the simple things that you can do, the behavior you can model? That's what we say to volunteers. What behavior can you model so that others can see that these are possibilities? You can behave this way. It's not going to change you. You can do the dishes if you're a man. You can cook if you're a man. You can build a house if you're a woman. You know, just working with volunteers in gender in all the areas in which they were, the cross-cutting areas, is important. But even though I'm saying this, what happens to them is that they see it in front of them, their faces every day. They live differently all of a sudden. You know, someone is looking at them as a female, and they've made a decision about them. And so it's important for us to find out what is it that person, the people in your community, feel about women and men, and then how does that impact your work as a teacher, as a health provider, as an HIV worker, as a community economic development? What do women and men need? Yes, okay, you can get more women at the meeting, but is that where you stop? You know, maybe they need leadership training. Maybe they need to learn how to speak or raise their hand.